Hi, my name is Meredith. Over 80% of people will experience low back pain at some point in their life, and it's one of the most common reasons for missed work. There can be many causes for low back pain, but something as simple as sitting for long periods of time on a regular basis or sleeping wrong can contribute to low back pain. Let's explore some ways that we may be able to alleviate the tension in our low back. Remember, I'm not a medical professional and I'm not licensed to diagnose or treat any medical condition. Let's stand out on all fours. We want our knees a little bit more than hip distance apart. Bring your toes together to touch. Sink your hips to your heels, bringing your chest between your knees, your forehead to the mat, arms long for child's pose. Reaching out long, feel the tension melt into the mat. And we're breathing. Beautiful. Coming back through all fours. Tuck your toes, press into the mat with your hands, and lift your hips for downward facing dog. We're pressing our heels toward the mat and our chest toward our thighs. Your heels don't need to touch the floor. You're just pressing them. Take a few breaths here. On an inhale, shift your weight to your left foot, lift your right foot up behind you, and step it through between your hands, dropping your left knee, raising your arms up, palms facing, spine is long for a low lunge. You want your shoulders down and back, away from your ears, not hunched up. Keeping your spine long and your legs engaged, we're breathing. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to frame the front foot. Step back and press into downward facing dog. We're going to do a low lunge on the other side to keep us balanced. On an inhale, lift the left foot behind you, step it through between your hands, dropping the right knee, rising up, arms up, palms facing. Again, our spine is long and we're breathing. You may notice that the poses we do feel very different from one side of the body to the other, and this is normal. Beautiful. Bring the hands to frame the front foot. Step back, coming through all fours. Tuck the toes, press into the mat and lift your hips for downward facing dog. Beautiful. Walk your feet to your hands for a forward fold. If you can't touch the mat or your toes, you can try using some blocks. Maybe you need one, maybe you need two, or maybe you are able to reach the floor for the forward fold. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. Bending the knees, slowly roll up through the spine, raising the arms overhead, reaching for the ceiling. And release the arms. We're going to work our way into chair pose. On an inhale, raise the arms up, palms facing. And as we exhale, we're going to sink our hips back as if we were sitting in a chair. Keeping our spine long, not hunched over. It doesn't matter how far you go down. Maybe you're only able to go down a tiny bit, and that's fine. Keeping, again, your shoulders away from your ears. And we're breathing. Inhale, rise up. Lower the arms. Take a breath. And let's sit down in our chair one more time. Inhale up. And exhale, sit back into your chair, keeping your spine long. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. We're going to work our way into a Malasana squat. We want our knees, feet a little bit more than hip distance apart, feet turned out. On an inhale, raise the arms up. And as you exhale, sink down into a squat. Nobody panic. There are many modifications for this pose. If you aren't able to squat the whole way down, you can make a seat for yourself. As with anything, if it causes you pain, you shouldn't do it. This pose not only is good for the lower back, but it's also excellent for digestion. If you need some assistance balancing, you can try keeping your hands on the mat in front of you. Beautiful. Let's come to a seated position on our mat. Our legs are long in front. Our spine is long, reaching up overhead. Keeping our spine long, hinge at the hips and lean forward to try to grab our toes. If you can't, you could try using a yoga strap or a necktie or a towel if you have one to reach your toes. We want to keep our spine long, not hunched over. And we're breathing. If you don't have a strap and you can't reach your toes, it's fine to hold your shins, your ankles. Beautiful. Let's come to, we're going to, in a seated position with our knees bent, feet flat on the mat, hands behind us. On an inhale, lift the right leg and cross the right ankle over the left thigh, pressing your chest toward the ceiling for swan. We're breathing. Beautiful. And uncross your leg. And now for the other side. Lift the left knee, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, pressing the chest forward. And we're breathing. Beautiful. And release the leg. coming to lie on our back on the mat. We want our knees bent, feet flat on the mat, feet as close to our backside as we can get them. Our hands, our arms are long at our sides, our palms are facing down. On an inhale, we're going to press our feet into the mat, squeeze our knees together, and lift our hips for bridge pose. We're squeezing our knees together, don't let them fall to the side. Pressing our hips toward the ceiling. If you have a block, and you need to, you can give yourself some support with a block. Maybe you're only able to lift your hips a little bit and need some support with a block, and that's okay. And release. We're going to lift into our bridge one more time. On an inhale, press into the mat, squeeze the knees together, lift the hips for bridge. We're breathing. We're breathing. Beautiful. And release. We're going to reach our legs out long, bending our right knee, give it a hug into your chest. If you can't hug your knee into your chest, and you need to use a strap or a necktie or towel, that's great. Remember, don't force any pose and don't do anything that causes you pain. And release. Switching legs, bend your left knee and give it a hug into your chest, using your arms or a strap if you need to. Beautiful. And switching legs. Grab your right knee into your chest to give it a hug. Keeping your knee bent, bring your arms out to a T and let your right knee gently fall to the left. We want to keep both shoulders on the mat, only letting the knee fall. It doesn't matter how far the knee goes as long as your shoulders stay on the mat. And return to center. And switch legs. Hug the left knee into the chest. Keeping the knee bent, releasing the arms to a T, let the left knee fall to the right. It doesn't matter how far it goes as long as you keep your shoulders on the mat. Beautiful. Returning to center, bending both knees to give them a hug into your chest. Again, if you need to use a strap, necktie, towel, that's beautiful. We want to grab hold of either our shins, ankles, or the outside of our feet, or we can use a strap and pull our knees toward our armpits for happy baby pose. Pressing our feet into our hands. Bring our knees as close to our armpits as we can get them. Sometimes it feels good to rock from side to side to give your lower back a little bit of a massage. If that's possible for you, beautiful.
And don't forget to breathe. And release.
Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day.